Felicitous greetings, fellow fanatics. Greetings and salutations, one and all. I'm Adam the Fanatic, and today we're taking a look at Super Ember Kaboom, a retro-style platformer by Josh Koenig. I'd also like to take a brief moment to thank an anonymous benefactor for making the eye-catch animation that you saw at the beginning. They don't wish to be credited, but I would like to express my gratitude nonetheless. So without further ado, let's dive into the game. In Super Ember Kaboom, you'll take on the role of the eponymous Ember. Over the course of 60 stages, you'll have to run, jump, and fight against enemies to stop the wicked Grimoire. In addition to her standard run and jump, Ember can also do a short-range spin dash while on the ground, and can roll from a jump into a quick drop attack. Just make sure you don't try to jump on top of enemies without it, as you'll quickly be reminded that she's not a plumber. You can also use the attack button to have her swipe her tail at enemies. Additionally, you'll commonly come across the elemental spirits that Grimoire has imprisoned. Free one, and your attack will temporarily be upgraded. Depending on which elemental you free, they can grant you the ability to shoot fireballs, create spires of ice, call forth bursts of light, strike enemies with lightning, or dash forward at insane speeds while invincible. Okay, so we have a talking fox that stars in a platformer, can attack by rolling into enemies or swiping your tail at them, collects gems to unlock the game's true ending, and can run at super speed. Are we sure this isn't Tails' long-lost sister or something? Levels are pretty straightforward for the most part. We'll have a variety of obstacles and enemies, as well as plenty of fruits you can pick up. Collect 30 and you'll gain an extra life. Each stage also has 4 diamonds hidden throughout, although I use the term hidden very loosely. Most of these are in plain sight, and there's only one level I actually had trouble finding a gem in. These aren't like dragon coins or red rings where you'll have to go out of your way to find them. In addition to standard levels, a handful of them will introduce gimmicks. Time levels, which only give you a minute to beat them, auto-scrollers that do just what you'd expect, and a handful of these Celeste-inspired doppelganger levels where you'll be chased by a shadow that copies your movements, forcing you to constantly be on the move. And of course, you also have a handful of boss fights, 8 in all, each of which is unique from the others. Difficulty-wise, the game is quite easy. Although you are given the option to adjust it, Ember's starting health defaults to 4 hearts per stage, each heart allowing her to take a single hit. There's no way to heal mid-stage, but stages are so short this almost never seems like an issue. And despite this, there is a checkpoint in each stage to respawn you if you die past the halfway point. When you get to boss fights, there's another oddity that further makes the game feel incredibly easy. There's no invincibility frames for bosses, so you can just keep spamming your attacks over and over again. You can only attack them with elemental abilities, but you can hit them so rapidly with them that they rarely have time to be a real threat. Once you've collected all the gems in the main game, you will unlock a final gauntlet of levels. These are certainly a step up in difficulty from the rest of the game, but there was still only one that really gave me any trouble. And the game is pretty short on top of that. 60 stages may sound like a lot, but they're incredibly short. I finished the game in less than 2 hours. That was including taking the time to grab every single gem in the game. Presentation-wise, the game is pretty solid. The enemy sprites have a fair bit of detail put into them. The stage foregrounds are a bit plain, but the backgrounds do look rather nice. There's not much story to speak of, but let's be honest. How often do you play a platformer for its story? It sets the scene, and that's all it really needs to do. All in all, Super Ember Kaboom isn't a bad game, but it does feel rather bland. Levels get very repetitive in the game's short time span. Each level feels like it's either a straight shot from left to right, or from top to bottom. There's just not much interesting that happens with the level design. As aforementioned, boss fights feel very easy, often feeling like you've beaten them before you've even got into the groove of things. To its credit, the game does look nice, with both the animations and controls being quite fluid. The basic concepts are solid, but the execution just feels very lackluster. I'd be interested in seeing what the dev comes up with in the future, but I feel they need to put more time and thought into level design. It's a weak first showing, but there is a good framework here. In conclusion, I find Super Ember Kaboom to be worthy of a middling 6.7 out of 10. Super Ember Kaboom is available for PC via Steam. If you're interested in purchasing or learning more, links are included in the description. But what about you? What do you think of Super Ember Kaboom? What indie platformers do you enjoy? If you have any questions, remarks, or opposing points of view, leave them in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell. And if you really enjoy my work, please consider funding my channel on Patreon. Until next time, farewell, fellow fanatics. Thank you again for watching. I have plenty more to share with you if you're interested. You can click up here above my head to subscribe to my channel. You can click over here on my monitor to see the most recent video that I worked on. Or if you prefer, you can click up here to open this mysterious vault and see what video that the YouTube algorithm has picked just for you.